I'm Alex and this is my take on Luger News Network. The final day before Ontario heads to the polls is shaping up to be a dramatic one, with progressive Conservative leader Doug Ford making his final pitch to voters. Ford, aiming for a third consecutive majority government, is framing his re-election campaign around standing up to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff threats. He made it clear on Wednesday that he's in this for the long haul, stating, "I want to be premier forever," he declared confidently. Ford's campaign has heavily focused on addressing the potential impact of tariffs on Ontario's economy, positioning himself as the leader who can protect Canadian workers and businesses from the threat of 25% tariffs on goods and 10% on energy. Ford made it clear that he believes his government is the only one that can effectively push back against Trump's economic war on Canada. Wearing a Canada hockey jersey with the number 51 on the back, Ford aimed to send a clear message. Ontario is a force to be reckoned with, and a strong majority will send that message to Washington. "We are going to fight like we've never fought before," Ford promised. "We are going to protect the families, the businesses, the jobs, and the communities." His campaign was particularly focused on the Windsor area, hoping to sway voters in Windsor West, the last non-blue seat west of London, Ontario. His team was then set to head back to the Greater Toronto area, making stops across the region. Meanwhile, a different kind of controversy is brewing on the federal stage. Conservative leaders have accused Liberal leadership candidate Mark Carney of misleading Canadians regarding his role in Brookfield Asset Management's decision to move its headquarters from Toronto to New York. The move has raised questions, particularly regarding Carney's claim that he wasn't chairman at the time of the decision. Carney, the former governor of the Bank of Canada, joined Brookfield's board in 2020 and became chairman in 2022. However, he stepped down from his role in January 2023 to run for Liberal leadership. Critics, including conservative ethics critic Michael Barrett, have pointed to the timeline and accused Carney of misleading the public about his involvement in the move. "He lied to Canadians," Barrett said, suggesting that Carney may have been motivated by corporate interest, including the influence of then U.S. President Donald Trump, who had been urging businesses to relocate to the U.S. Carney, for his part, defended his position, stating that the formal decision to move the headquarters occurred after he had stepped down from the board. "The formal decision of the board happened after I ceased to be on the board," he explained, pointing to the company's official confirmation of the move in late October and November 2022. Despite the accusations, Carney has remained focused on his leadership campaign, emphasizing his commitment to growing the Canadian economy. Both Ford's re-election bid and Carney's leadership campaign are expected to continue to dominate the political conversation in the coming days. With Ford fighting to maintain his majority and Carney working to present himself as the leader who can grow the Canadian economy, it's clear that both will face significant scrutiny in the final stretch. Here's my take. Doug Ford's stance on standing up to U.S. tariffs is exactly the kind of leadership Ontario needs. His focus on protecting Ontario's economy and working families from the economic threats posed by President Trump's tariffs shows real strength. Ford's ambition to be premier forever might sound bold, but it speaks to his commitment to fight for Ontario's best interest. After all, why wouldn't we want a leader who is dedicated to securing long-term stability and protecting Ontario's economic future? His approach is practical and rooted in preserving jobs, businesses, and communities. On the other hand, Mark Carney's leadership bid raises serious concerns. The accusations that he misled Canadians about his role in Brookfield's headquarters move are troubling. He may have stepped down from his role after the decision was made, but the timeline doesn't add up. And voters have a right to question whether his corporate ties cloud his judgment. Carney's focus on growing the economy is well and good, but it seems like he's too closely tied to the elites of Bay Street and now Wall Street. If he's willing to put profits ahead of Canadian interest, what's to say he won't do the same when it comes to decisions that directly affect everyday Canadians? At the end of the day, Ford represents a strong, stable leadership that puts Ontario's interests first. Carney's promises, on the other hand, seem more aligned with corporate insiders than the average Canadian. As a conservative, I'll take Ford's approach every time. It's about protecting our people, our businesses, and our values.